Howdy, howdy. Oh, we got Ben with the Bureau Laser in chat already. Gonna be settling in for some just chill single player vibes here. Playing a little Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Earlier on, a couple weeks ago, I played through the original Mirror's Edge. Did that all in one sitting. That will not be the case today. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a much larger game. But you know, we're gonna have some fun. We were gonna play, I mentioned on my last stream, we're probably gonna play Lasso today, but one of the homies was unable to make it in time, so shifting gears a little bit, but it's still gonna be a good time. We're gonna hang out, do some running. It's one of those games that as long as I can play decently, you'll look super cool playing it, so fingers crossed on that one. All right, also, you know, I was a little hasty in getting it all set up, so hopefully everything's right. Might need to move some stuff out in the layout or whatever, but gotta get in the game to see. On Streamlabs, you can do it, you can capture. I believe in you. Yeah. I'm also probably gonna be blown out on the webcam because it's all just a white screen blasting in my face. Alright, hopefully everything's good and sounds are alright. We'll find out. Yeah. There you go. Plot happening right now. Keyboard's in the way. The plot for Catalyst is it's not a sequel to the first one. It's a definitely a reboot. The story is pretty much the same, or at least like the setup of the world is pretty much the same, just a little bit more deeply fleshed out. Yep. Oh, plot.
Faith, I'm scared. I'll run for you, Dogan. But Noah can't know.
You owe me a lot of script, Faith.
And you know, it kind of ties into some real world themes. Don't worry about it. No biggie. Ooh, so blue. Ooh, now so white. Oh god.
Every new day holds a promise.
How's the audio, Bendel boy?
Spend it advancing yourself, furthering your
Anything too loud, too quiet? I mean, why not? I mean, it's probably like, I think it's Caitlin. Which Caitlin with a C is not that weird.
Unlocking your inner potential through hard work
and relentless dedication. As an employee, you are expected to perform at the top of your abilities.
Last day.
Oh, that's fine. Nice.
I thought we'd keep you here forever, Leech.
Work is rewarded.
Maybe you'd like
Yeah, so I didn't have super large amount of time. Also, I was kind of lazy, but so I didn't do as much testing as I usually do with a new game to make sure everything's okay. But keep me posted if anything's bad.
Has served a 12-month sentence, to which 9 months were added for several incidents of insubordination. Deemed ready for
conditional release.
Now, if it was up to me.
How rude.
Upon release, you must
Seek immediate employment and will be monitored through your grid link.
If you do not find employment within 14 days, you'll be relocated to a Greenland facility. Do you understand these conditions?
Just give me.
This is where America's going. Do crime, become slave. It'd be like that. Alright, time to get going on some tutorialness.
Enjoy your freedom.
It's, you know, Ben, fair point. Fair enough. You do be right. Alright. Free me! Free me! I'm free! Ah.
Hey, over here. Don't. I'm Icarus. Noah sent me.
You could be anyone.
Well, you'll just have to trust me. Here, take this.
Should we trust him?
I want to get off the streets.
A beaten? But
Put it on. We need to get you connected and calibrated. I know Noah's eager to talk to you.
I don't know if I should trust him, guys.
what the hell?
Come on, we need to get moving.
There's something wrong with this.
Man, remember when Google Glass was a thing? What a time.
Oh, sorry. Almost forgot. We have to cut your grid link. It's causing the interference.
Is this what the employees see all the time?
Yeah, I guess you're not reformed enough to enjoy it.
I'm not reformed at all.
There you go. You're off the grid. Now they know you're gone. Time to get off the ground.
Actually, no, I'm supposed to be going. Let me follow you, friend. Alright, we in it now, boys. How do I turn? Oh, okay, now. I think I can turn off the, like, tooltips later, but I think it's required for the tutorial. They did make the movement feel much smoother in this one. Like, it's so refined. I mean, the only problem with the ending that I have is that it's set up as a, like, it's setting up a sequel, which we haven't gotten, and that's sad. But I honestly had no problems with this story. I think it was, nothing groundbreaking, but pretty decent.
Can someone tell me what the hell is going on?
I mean, like, gameplay-wise, it was a really cool ending.
Follow the runner echo through the warehouse. Icarus will meet up with you on the other side. By then, you should be in the clear. If you can make it through that old place, time to see if the fate
Yeah, I really did like this game.
Nobody likes a smart mouth Icarus. She'll do fine.
I think some people were pretty harsh on it,
Calibrate as you go, Faith.
which is probably why we haven't gotten a sequel. But, I'm still holding out hope.
Search warrant out for Phoenix Carpenter, female, young.
It deserves a sequel.
A bit more insistent than I expected.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I can see that, but I feel like, honestly, the world is not that open. Like, you can just run from place to place. And in that, I kind of actually liked the learning the routes and stuff to get to the different locations and kind of like learning where stuff was and being able to get around. Like, I didn't do too much of the, like, actual, like, side questy content. When I play this, I mostly just run through the story. So it's basically like, you just run through the loading scenes. But I can understand you not really being about it. That's fair. I was hesitant when it first came out, but it didn't bother me too much. First one was such a tight experience. I feel like only running through the same places. That's fair. I can see both sides. Like, it can be a little repetitive, but then I think it's also cool to have, just that little connective tissue between missions. I mean, like, first game, very tight experience, but kind of, it's really short. I mean, I played it in one stream. It was like 2 hours.
Take a different route to the Everdine Tower. We'll split up again, keep them confused. Can you make it across to those pipes?
Of course.
Good.
It's being a little chippy choppy. Have to see if it sorts out.
Let's go.
very follow janky. Well, hell impression. That's true. I mean, hey, I love the first Mirror's Edge. I am a huge fan. I thought that this was a good successor, though. I really did.
Too close.
I think that it did a good job of adding a little bit deeper story, and I've died. I haven't died, I just fell down like a dum-dum. Yeah, I think it was just a really good refinement of the game. Like, oh, I'm stupid. I'm looking at chat, it's the problem. Yeah, the story's a little better. The, like, actual running itself, way better. Combat's good, longer. Me likey. Except in a lot of, and now I'm thinking about it, in a lot of ways, it gives me the same vibe as like Portal 1 and Portal 2. I feel like it's a similar kind of increase in like, first one, incredible experience, but really short and super jank. And then they just kind of refined it and added in like a real story and a lot more content in the second one. And everything just kind of runs a little better. I don't know if this is quite as flawless as Portal 2. But same type of idea. Like I feel like because Portal 1 is very much like a tech demo in a lot of ways.
Oh, at least you got here before dawn.
Who are you anyway? When did you join the Cabal?
About a year ago.
Well, I grew up with them.
Moving and combat in 2 are definitely a lot better.
You
Yeah.
also got caught and caused a whole lot of trouble for Noah.
You don't know.
Like the first game, the movement was actually pretty like rigid in a lot of ways, and like weirdly slow.
I'm here.
This one, the flow is a lot nicer,
New guy and his ego.
and I feel like they just like base movement speed and stuff is a little faster in this game, which just feels good. And it's funny, one of the like bugs from the first game, which was doing the side dash and turning 90 degrees at the same time to get up to speed. They just add that as a mechanic in this game because they're like, oh, maybe that's actually kind of nice. Oh, I did the wrong attack. Yeah, because like in the first game, you had the side dash and you could do like side dash and turn to be at full speed. But now you can just do that forward and backwards in any direction. You just be like, I'm running. Also, sadly, we have to do tutorial time, but oh, I'm pressing the wrong direction. Oh, I killed that hologram.
Better, of course, is if you knock them into one another.
Oh, hecked it. I hecked it off. I guess I need the tutorial. Oh, I'm bad. Don't look. Oh. Yeah, like they actually added in like combat mechanics instead of just left click on pushing C instead of shift. They just like, you know, press left click a lot and do the same 3 animations repeatedly. Kicky.
Nice kick. That's right, Faith. Keep it up.
I've lost myself. I think I've fallen the wrong way. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Remember to use your surroundings when attacking.
Oh, watch me slide. They did put the shift key there, but my brain went, Ah, yes. Spacebar. God. Should not have the controls in my brain yet.
Real name Faith, or things could be way worse. Why? What difference would that make? Read up on the Connors family history and you'll get why Icarus.
Oh, that was some magnet legs if ever I've seen them.
You're fighting echoes now, but there are real enemies waiting for you ahead. Don't underestimate them, Faith.
No, I'll just fumble around on my own game. I don't need no tutorial.
You'll be fine.
Who do you think I am?
I'm inside.
Gotti.
Do this, Faith.
Yeah. Here goes.
One more thing. In case you're talking about some special unit being sent in, it could be some drone or something. Be careful, both of you.
You know, another increase of this game from the last one. It's just pretty. Like, the old game is just old. I'm not gonna kill that guy. That guy gets to go home to his family.
What's this? We're on control.
Whee! Oh, wrong button. That's the button the boost was in the other game. Oh my god, I thought I was gonna fall. Oh, it's a fancy boy. That booty though. I got big kickied.
That's a negative control. No visual. She couldn't have survived that.
No, I'm good. I grabbed onto the pipe, you see?
Clean up crew, dig up the body. I got better things to do. Yeah, she still got all of them. Send an EMT too while you're at it.
Oh, don't worry about that clip there. That girder and I are one. Yeah.
A few close calls. You did really well, Faith. Guess I shouldn't be so surprised you got K-Sex.
Question of the day. What's your go-to show that you've watched 10,000 times and will always just, like, if you want something on in the background, you just always put on? For me, everyone who knows me knows already that it's 100% Futurama. I have watched that whole show at least 10 times over. What's my quick turn button?
Now come on home, kiddo.
I don't know what my quick turn button is. Oh, I'm dead. I died. That's not a quick turn. My legs were weakened from that fall earlier. I guess the other element of this question is just like, are you someone who rewatches things at all? I know there's a lot of people that like never really rewatch shows and movies. Don't really have one? That's valid. I mean, I'm a person who rewatches stuff all the time. Like my favorite movies, I've seen them all, 10 times. You don't really rewatch things. That's fair. I can't get, maybe it's because I also just don't like trying new things. Like games, movies, shows. Whenever I'm like, I want to play a game, like I want to watch movies, I'm usually just like, I could watch something else, but I know I like this. And the one where you play through until 5 times. That's fair. Oh, okay. Although, on the topic of new games, I did actually just play through Resident Evil Village. Like the first Resident Evil game I played, but I watched 7 get played through, a couple times in Let's Plays, and it looked like a lot of fun. How was it? It was really fun. It's not much of a horror game, I will say that. And, you know, I haven't played any other games, but from my watching, I've seen playthroughs of both Resident Evil 7 and 4, and it is like 100% just they mushed the two games together. Like, it really seems like it's in a lot of ways like a remake of 4, but with 7 like gameplay. I'll let the cutscene happen. Yeah, I hear that 7 is like oppressive horror and 8 is like monster roller coaster. You know, I mean, from watching 7, it didn't even seem like compared to like Outlast. That's like kind of like my baseline of like a horror game. Like you're gonna shit your pants constantly.
Got out of juvie today.
Or like something like a PT, which is like just
Gone a long time.
ambiance horror.
She's sorry.
I mean, it's just Resident Evil. You have a gun, so it's not as scary. Pretty much, period. Yeah, 8 is very actiony. There is one section though that's pretty big spook because they take away your gun. Yeah, it was a really fun playthrough. You know, if you like kind of collection and stuff.
Yeah.
Mind if I stay a while?
I was hoping.
Baby. Baby.
And about that run?
Go talk to Birdman.
I was surprised by how little of the game is
Hey, Chris? He's a good kid.
big vampire
Better
GF.
than anyone.
Than anyone?
Like, from what I had, the only thing I had seen of the game was her. So I figured she was like the whole game, but she is not. She's like a quarter of the game.
Logan sent me a greeting.
Yeah. We'll deal with him in time. Right? Now go. Astound me.
She was a very fun part, though. All of the characters in it were pretty neat.
By the way, Faith, there's a package waiting for you.
Man, I did
I
not.
like what's inside.
I did not pay attention to the story there. I mostly remember everything, but I'm gonna get confused at certain points. It's like, what the hell am I doing?
I've upgraded your beat with a map mod of glass. You'll need it to get around and to find the smaller runs.
Okay. Okay. I feel like this is also a part of this game that people like didn't like. The like progression thing. But I think it's a good way to kind of keep the game from getting stale while still being a much larger story.
Spread out across the city.
Like being able to get, you know, some new stuff that you can do is nice, and like new equipment and things. I did enjoy that.
Birdman will be glad to see you. He's one of the few things that hasn't changed at all.
Like I think part of the problem of why people didn't like this game
You want?
was that because the original was so bare bones, like just you know, start the mission, you're running, next mission, boom boom, get through a quick story, you're done. And people were kind of wary of how much they added in this one. And you know, in some ways it might have been too overly ambitious. Hard to say.
Best friend is out of prison and she doesn't even come to visit?
Oh, I keep pressing C to slide and it
Way
shifts.
better now that you're out. And it just so happens that I could also use your help.
I'm on my way to Birdman.
It's a weird one for like control layouts because
Can wait, but it's your choice. Check your map
like
for where to find me.
100% I like the slide button being on shift because you use it so much, so you want it on a really convenient button. But man, there's no other game where shift is crouch. Just got to get used to it though.
With Birdman, we'll see about getting your situation with Dolan sorted out.
I need to check what my quick turn button is. Q, it is Q. Oh, maybe I don't have the ability yet. Speaking of progression, yeah, I must not. It starts you out pretty basic. Oh, that bag, it was really spooky. Yeah. Pigeons.
Easy there. Leave my door alone. Patience never was your virtue, Faith.
Thought you were taking a nap. Is that what old people do?
Careful with that mouth, girl.
And you know, it's nice to have a game deep enough that like your characters can actually have character.
Yeah, I missed you too.
No,
because there wasn't much of that going on in the first one.
I told him I'd do no such thing. But I have a dash for you. Enough to test yourself.
So that's good.
I already fed you, Calliope. Get off of me. Damn
look at that
rats
bird.
With wings. Never leave me alone. But they have their uses.
Herb time.
Patience never was your virtue.
True. That's why I can smell my own.
That bird's a VTuber.
Now off with you. Show them other runners that you got your uses too.
Are there any bird VTubers?
It's good to have you back, girl.
Like really bird-like VTubers? No. I guess there's Kiara. She kind of counts.
One more thing, Faith. The marked route is not always the best one. You only need to reach the goal in the shortest time possible. The way
All right.
you take doesn't matter.
That's time. It's gonna be embarrassing if I like screw this up on my first go. Alright. Gotta keep talking. I can't be gamer focused on the first run. That won't bode well. It's funny, playing on PC, quick turn is, oh, I've hacked it. I've done the wrong thing. This is the wrong way. This is where I started. Oh, the embarrassment. I'm a clown. Anyway. Let's try again. You're so rich, Ben. You're such a wealthy little boy. Who needs quick turn? I got mouse flicks. God, I was right there too. Hate it. Well, don't pog too much. You got the pity roll that was enacted for Cappuccino's Mad Ladness. You didn't actually win anything. You just didn't lose any points.
Hey, Faith, I need your help. We just barely repelled a Kruger-Sick attack on the beat. A lot of data got scattered all over the city, and now it's leaking through the grid. Please tap into any leaks you see, and we'll get that data reassembled.
Don't fall off.
There she is, in the flesh.
In my clothes even. Thanks for looking after them. How have you been?
Well, you know, living, surviving.
Oh yeah.
I missed you.
Oh gosh. So what do you need help with?
It's the Outcast in Greylands. They're setting up a comm system to warn about Kasek raids, but they need control chips, which can be found in all comm relay boxes.
Control chips? Relay boxes. Okay.
By ripping those chips, you mess things up for Allcom.
Yeah, plot and all that. But I want to go. I want to go fast.
You know me. Always helping those in need.
Free me from the cutscene.
Different, but I know why you got locked up.
Yeah, I was stupid. Where can I find these boxes?
Not far from here. I'll mark them for you.
Okay, on it.
Now we go.
I've been getting a few other components for the Outcast, and with these chips, they'll have everything they need.
Alright, I got the first chip.
Great. The next relay box.
Oops, I sat down. The end. Shift, not run. It's sit.
I should warn you, Faith. There are more CASEC patrols lately, and they look like they mean business too, not the usual goons.
Well, you know, anyone can be more than a goon if they believe hard enough. It's just all about, you know, how you apply yourself, really. You want to be a goon someday? We can all dream to be a goon. I'm pushing the wrong buttons. Gotti.
Hey, over here! I see her!
Oh, it's I need to do the thing for the tutorial. Oh, I'm bad though. And now I can just beat the shit out of him. Oh, I'm trash. Help me. Send help. You know, Ben,
Another tip.
you can be a goon.
Excellent. This will make a difference, I promise you. By the way, did you
Maybe you're already a goon. Did you ever think about that?
A lot of script for what you did.
Not yet.
Well, I'm sure you can work something out. And if not, I'll come with you when you go into exile. We'll
Do you
all
think
agree
there's
on
like a distinction between a goon and a henchman? It's like one a higher level than the other.
Breacher in our area.
Like, does a goon wish to one day be a henchman? And Kiki. Goon is more derogatory. Is goon a slur?
Got another one.
Great. Just one more and
Whoops.
we're good for now.
Oh god, I'm falling apart. I guess henchman does have like a little bit more respect to it.
Might need backup. So we have the breacher. AO. Pacification.
Oh, this guy's gonna get it. Oh, he didn't fall very far. Never mind, he didn't get it. Don't grab me. Ah, you fell down, clown. Oh, he bonked me. I've been habonked.
Okay.
Worst to best. Jobber, goon, lackey, henchman.
But we have a problem. There's a low
Okay, I feel like lackey is lower than goon. Because goon, you still got like, you got some power behind you, but lackey is like you're getting the coffee.
Subdue him.
Faith, Nomad. What's happening?
Oh, this is not the way to go. This is very much not the way to go, but I didn't jump off the building, so I'll take it.
This is happening all the time. It's not your fight.
Yes, it is.
Gotti. Oh, grab my arm. It's rude.
Hey, you're okay. I took care of them.
Whee!
I saw that, Faith. Told you couldn't fool me. You just helped that low-cast Nomad.
Yeah, I think I'd put lackey below goon for sure.
Except her parents. You say that like it's a bad thing. Keep looking for those relay boxes around the city, Faith. It'll really help.
I
the
agree that
Outcast.
jobber is the worst though.
Okay, now we need that first handful of chips delivered.
Figured as much. Where?
There's a dead drop with the marker on your map.
I guess the only other question would be, is there anything above henchmen? I can't really think of anything. I'd be like, still like, assistant to evil, but not a henchman. Although I do kind of like assistant to evil. You graduate to the non-minute assistant role. Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm there. Where's the dead drop?
Slight change of plans. They want to use another dead drop nearby, and there's a bunch of KSEC patrols between you and there. Probably responding to the commotion from before.
Okay, more tutorial ness, I think.
All the way to the drop. If you stop or make too many mistakes, you won't make it.
Oh, I'm making too many mistakes already. This was a good addition as well, adding the like light attacks when you're at speed to take out the goons. Because I mean, I think it's the reason why like 3D Sonic games suck is in a game like this you can't add anything that slows you down. You got to be able to keep stride no matter what.
You're almost there. Keep it up.
Middle goon management or mini boss. Yeah, mini boss is all right. Middle goon management, I don't know if that's a thing to be happy about. If I'm being honest.
The billboards are perfect for that. Hacking a billboard sends a clear message to the employees. It's enough if only one of them
I get through all these tutorials, making me learn how the game works.
You're more than ready to take on a real assignment. I got the perfect run for you.
You know, it's like a really good feature that some games do is even when you start a new game, it keeps track of if you've played before. It has like an option to just skip tutorials. That's always nice. Oh, do your own job. I'm busy. Going back to the Sonic topic. Are you a Sonic enjoyer, Bendelson? Because I feel like I haven't really played any Sonic. I'm just not much of like a classic gamer. Never been so much of a Sonic man. I was just gonna say, and I wanted to see if you would be there to defend it, but from like, you know, watching Game Grumps and stuff, it seems like a lot of Sonic games are kind of trash. Like even the ones people think are good seem kind of bad and like really jank. Like even the original ones seem really jank compared to like Mario that's so like, ooh, so tight and perfect.
I do.
Then you got Sonic and it's like, ooh, yikes.
Elysium Labs. High profile data.
I feel like that's the reason why Sonic fans will like shoot you for saying something bad about Sonic, because they know deep down.
Get off my case.
You're going with her.
I can take care of myself just fine, Noah.
Like last time.
Games just didn't go that fast. Yeah, that's fair. But it seems like they've always had that issue of like, you go fast until you need to actually like do anything, and then it's slow as hell, and like really floaty and gross. Like your jump is so slow in Sonic.
I give it to Aisha and Caleb. Your call.
So if you ever need to kill an enemy, it's like, ugh.
I'll see you there, Faith. Oh,
And they just did not transition to 3D well at all.
Go. You don't want him to beat you.
But that is fair, you know. If you can make something new, it doesn't even necessarily have to be that good. If it's just unique enough. Like, there's definitely something to be said about being able to just make a new concept. And no matter how trashy you make it. Sonic 06 was at least memorable. Fair enough. But you know, with hindsight and no nostalgia, I don't think Sonic would ever draw me in. Like, I could see myself enjoying a classic Mario game. I don't know if I would ever really like pick to play Sonic. Sorry, Sonic. I don't really mean to be that rude to you. Not actually about defending a Sonic game. Okay. I mean, hey, everyone deserves to have a little bit of defending going on. Like, and I'm not gonna fully say like Sonic's bad and no one should play it. You like it, and that's good.
So it seems this is your lucky night.
Why?
I found an open window for you. Easy way inside.
For the most part,
That doesn't sound right.
my opinion with like any media
Who knows?
is there's like two kinds of good.
I'd be more comfortable going in
There's like, you know, technically good. It was like
that you have a rep is all.
the
Go ahead.
archetypes of filmmaking or game making or art or whatever. Like, you did the brushstrokes really well or whatever. And then there's, is it enjoyable? And, you know, obviously that's subjective. So like, whatever, if you watch something and think, ooh, that was fun, I liked it, then it's good. And, you know, that's person to person. And I feel like my opinions on that topic differ from most people often. As I sit here with Speed Racer being one of my favorite movies ever and thinking a lot of the MCU movies are kind of trash. And that's just, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah, I hope so. The agricultural department occupies the top floors. Fastest way up is to use the elevators.
I'm not even gonna try and say it, I'll butcher it. It's objectively a 3 to 4 out of 10 anime, but damn if I don't love it. 10 out of 10. Yeah. And I feel like there's even two layers to that of like something can be like objectively bad and objectively good at the same time, I feel. Because like, it's hard to describe, but like things that are intended to just be like fun, I feel like I have a certain respect for that. Like, it doesn't need to be anything more than just what it is. I feel like Speed Racer kind of fits into that category of it is exactly what it wanted to be. It executed itself perfectly and is just fun. Yeah, anyone who hasn't seen Speed Racer, go watch it. Best ever. Best NA.
I sent the request 3 days ago, Mr. Kruger.
It will be seen to anything else?
Actually, yes. Yesterday I happened on a project.
Did I get my workout in?
Referring to something called Kingdom. Some of the ethical implications of what I found were troubling.
What goes on in Kingdom is no concern of yours.
Kruger, I was promised full oversight, and from what I can see, their research
So there's a lot of anime that it's hard to defend. It is ripped, yeah.
I'm happy to report that we
Doing any of this is like insane. There's a lot of anime that
I found a way into agricultural.
is really hard to defend on like an academic level.
What? We should abort the run.
No, I'm finishing this.
Like, as an enjoyer of many animes, a lot of anime's trash. Just degenerate trash. But we love it.
I wonder what Gabriel Kruger is doing in bed with the Mortel family in Elysium. The less we know about that, the better. Information is power, Noah.
That was some nice movement right there. Happy about that one. Oh, and then I ran into a wall. Unmuted Discord? Hey, the homie's in Discord. Okay. Howdy.
That faith is grabbing while I
Hey. How you doing?
A new
I'm doing pretty good.
Some sort of nutritional enhancer.
Back from Boston, and yeah, anime is trash. As someone who has loved anime very much for a very long time, I can say with absolute confidence that the overwhelming majority of anime on the earth is pure garbage.
Yeah.
The vilest shit on earth, and I love it so much.
I'm stuck. I will say though, in defense of anime, being someone who like was out of anime for a long time, am I stupid? Yeah, being someone who's out of anime for a long time and now getting like back into it, I feel like the last couple years of anime are actually pretty damn solid and not too degenerate.
Anime it's been raising its game for sure.
Yeah.
Because like even just compared to like when I was in high school, like the average anime that was coming out like in 2010 to 2014 is just not comparable to a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, and now especially when we have all sorts of like crazy good stuff coming out.
Yeah, I mean like even let's stick to just shonen. You've got like Naruto compared to like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like there's no comparison. It's like
no, like shonen in particular is a genre that's just been refining itself and refining itself for like 40 years.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna check it out.
And it's just Jujutsu Kaisen in particular, like it's just gotten to a point where it's so distilled, it knows exactly what it wants to do, and like Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't really hit any like unheard of beats, but it just sort of
does it really well.
Yeah, it just kind of quietly subverts some of the things that you expect in a shonen anime, and then it just does all the rest of the shonen things really good.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking concepts that were started basically in like Naruto, and then you're just but what if they weren't stupid?
Yeah, what if we did this, but it was like actually had a good story and like the animation was actually really nice?
What if what if the Sasuke wasn't an irredeemable asshole, and the Naruto was actually a likable person?
Yeah.
And the Sakura wasn't completely fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like you just take the characters and you just make them cool, and then you have a bunch of characters that are also cool. It works really well.
Yeah. And then as far as like the fun animes, you got like Slime is one that's like it's just really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they like don't do anything too horrendously degenerate. Like it's still there for sure. I won't try and argue that it's perfect, but
anime will be horny forever.
Yeah.
But, okay, there are two things I need to say.
Okay.
First, there's a fucking colossal spider that's just walking across the wall.
Oh
about
no!
10 feet away from me.
That's rough, bud.
Like this thing is an affront to God himself. And normally I don't care if there are spiders in my room, but why is this thing so big?
Yeah.
I hate it.
Secondly, I feel bad for you just hearing about that.
Okay, yeah. Secondly, slime is actually something that maybe is not actually as great about modern anime, which is that fucking half of everything is a like dumbass isekai.
Okay, I like isekai though.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, right, you like like the 3 good isekais that exist.
Yeah.
Haven't read like the trillions of garbage light novels.
That's fair. That's what I say. Like the new ones are pretty damn good.
I'm not so sure they are, my man. There's some pretty fucking bad ones.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Okay, great. So I guess like it's hard for me. I haven't exactly like read the light novels or watched even a lot of isekai anime. I just get fucking recommended clips on YouTube for them constantly, and really just out of context, it just feels like, oh whoa, we've got a new isekai and this one's gonna be different because the protagonist is a douchebag. Whoa. And it's not actually cool anymore.
I feel like some of the ones I really like. I mean, like the standout is Shield Hero.
Yeah,
like
Shield Hero is actually good.
Shield Hero is
even
like
though,
really good.
I mean, that actually also has its flaws, to be fair. But like, yeah, Shield, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, like Shield Hero is really good. Has a great story, really good characters. And then, I mean, it probably is a matter of like I'm not as deep into it as you, so like I kind of have just picked out the good ones.
Yeah.
Like Slime is kind of like the top of that like nothing needs to make
Slime,
sense.
yeah.
Everyone's overpowered. We're just having fun with these characters.
Slime is cool because it's just about a regular dude who gets powers and is like, I'm going to save the world by just being nice to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be really nice to people, and it's just gonna work out.
I mean,
And
it's a do you want to be friends? That's a threat. And some of the other ones
we will be friends.
Some of the other ones I've watched,
no
like
friend.
Cautious Hero, was kind of that. The thing that's fun about Cautious Hero to me is it subverts your expectations just by like you look at it and you're like, oh no, this is gonna be a crime. But then it's like, oh, maybe it's actually okay though. And then,
I haven't watched Cautious Hero, but I see the YouTube clips of that a lot. That actually looks pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some good jokes in there.
That's definitely like I think that I definitely see that Isekai as a genre is a content mill, 100%.
Yes.
But I think
you can just tell the same story 1,000 times.
Yeah, but I think
sort of rewrite it a little bit.
It seems like there are a lot of, especially in like the past few years, there's a lot of good ones. Like, when something's popular, there's going to be a lot of it, and there's going to be a lot of bad ones.
Statistically, some of them have to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, but so one of the things that is emblematic of my distaste for the genre is like, it was a light novel that I didn't read. I read a synopsis of it, where it's just like the title is something like how a realist hero saved the kingdom, and it's supposed to be about how Dee gets isekai'd into a kingdom and then becomes the king and used his like realpolitik powers to like reinstate the kingdom and restore its economy. But it's like the fucking dumbest shit that you've ever read in your life.
No, that's fair.
Like, it's like fucking at some point in the book he instates like fucking state-sponsored idols, and like he has like 4 wives.
Yeah.
He's a polygamist that has multiple wives, and fucking some of them are like his closest generals that are all anime girls for some reason.
Yeah.
So this isn't realist. This is just what you want to be realist. Like, fuck off.
This is just your dream. No, that's fair.
You're just like all the rest. You're just like your father.
There's a lot of bad isekai.
Yeah.
I think that it seems like isekai is just kind of the genre right now where we want to just print some money animes are going.
Yep.
Because they are formulaic. Like, not to say that it's necessarily a bad formula, but when you're like want to make a no-effort show it's popular, it has an easy formula, where else are you gonna go? Obviously, that's what you're gonna make.
I didn't want this.
And that is unfortunate. That kind of can take away from the ones where it's like someone actually just had a good idea for a story. That's an isekai.
Yes. Do you have a favorite isekai?
A Shield Hero. It has to be Shield Hero.
That's fair.
Excluding Shield Hero because that one's kind of like an outlier of it's so good. Then I'd probably say Slime. Because I really like Slime.
Yeah. Those are definitely both.
I mean, I think that the only ones that I've watched, unless I'm forgetting one, is Shield Hero, Slime, Cautious Hero, and didn't I say to make my abilities average in the next life? Which is also a funny concept.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of Make My Abilities Average and wasn't super into it. It just wasn't my thing.
That's fair.
And yes, okay. Oh. There's one other isekai that actually comes to mind.
Yeah.
No Game, No Life, which I fucking hated. I have never seen a more unlikable protagonist in my life than No Game, No Life.
That is all I knew of that game.
Oh my god.
Remember that game of that? I have heard that one as like this is a bad one. Kind of like Sword Art Online. Where it's like, all I've heard about it is this is really popular, don't watch it.
I don't know. So Sword Art Online is bad. Like, I'm not gonna mince words about it. Sword Art Online is pretty fucking bad and has a lot of stupid shit in it. But like,
No Game No Life works.
the thing is that like a lot of people really like No Game No Life. Everyone kind of agrees that SAO is bad, but like No Game No Life is really popular and I can't fucking stand it.
Not an isekai at all, but just No Game No Life made me think about it. You know, it's a really good anime. No Guns
What?
Life.
Yes! Yes, now you're fucking talking my language. That is a good show.
That's a really good show. I hope it gets a third season.
I didn't even realize it got a second season.
Oh,
I'm so behind.
My boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It's good.
Oh my god, I've got some shit to watch.
Yeah, that one's a really fun one. Another one that's got a really cool world.
Yeah. It's something special when you can just have a protagonist who's a detective with a gun for a head.
And it makes sense.
Oh yeah, sure, that makes sense. Sure, I'll buy
it
this.
makes sense and it's serious. Yeah, that one's a really fun one. Anime's good, man. Like anime's trash, but man, anime's good.
It's also pretty good. I think okay, I may or may not like before, but there was a period in college where I was just like ready to give up. Like I was just basically like I had watched everything that my friends were talking about.
Yeah.
I was looking for something to watch, and I was just kind of digging, see if I could find like a diamond in the rough. And instead, what I found was so much rough that I nearly died. I was digging through. Oh, this looks like a cool anime, and then like 3 times in a row, like within the first episode, it's like the protagonist is walking around and they do that thing where they fall over and then he lands in some female character's boobs, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, nothing is sadder than when that gets in the way of a good anime. And yes, I am talking about Fire Force.
Yes.
Yes, this is targeted.
Right, genre of God, you could be so good if you weren't so horny.
And I'll say, season 2 is better.
I haven't watched most of season 2. I'll get back to it.
It's better.
But yeah, basically, so going through that, I was is anime even good? Was anime ever good? And then I watched Erased, actually. Bokudake ga inai machi.
I don't know that one.
And
I don't know a lot of animes, to be fair.
So it's a little bit like Stranger Things, actually, in that basically it takes place in the 80s and involves vaguely supernatural elements.
Nice. I love vaguely supernatural elements. I'm dead.
At that point, yeah, right. It's cool. And I was just, oh, this is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like the ending, but I thought it was fine. And like the first couple of episodes are so fucking good that it was like, I found anime god again. I found Jesus.
Yeah.
I delivered to his
I think you have to be a very powerful person to be the person who digs into the filth of anime.
The archives, yeah.
Like, if you're just watching the good ones, I mean, I think that's really the problem. Is it's just such a deep well of content.
It's a rabbit hole with no bottom.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you were gonna say, like, watching every TV show, ooh, game, please.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of trash. Ooh, game, are you alright? Are you okay, game? Are you struggling?
Get out of dodge.
Game is, like, dying.
Oh no.
I think I'm at a dead end. I gotta go the other way. Uh-oh. I gotta go back towards the enemies. Yeah, so I think it's sometimes easy to judge anime too harshly because of that. Like, because anime is less of a genre and more just, like, the prime medium for content in that region. So obviously there's going to be a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we want to go on to, like, some of those, you got your cable subscription with 10,000 channels. If we want to go through what's on those 10,000 channels, there's going to be some filth.
Yes.
But I also don't want to forgive anime too much either.
Yeah, we can't give it too much slack.
If you give anything too much slack, it's never going to be better. Yeah. I think that being discerning viewers is what's making anime improve. It is also nice having the print media options for stuff. Because like for me, going through all of JoJo. Like,
oh wait.
What?
Or wait, have you finished JoJo at this point?
Yeah, I'm caught up. I'm all caught up.
Oh wow, okay. So I still haven't.
But if I was to have watched through all of JoJo, I would not be caught up. But being able to read it is really nice. Like, I blasted through, even though I'm a really slow reader. Like, I blasted through all of JoJo. Every part.
Yeah, I guess so.
And like, it was easier to go through like the first part. It's like, it's kind of boring.
Buzzing with the news that
part one is like you can definitely tell that Araki is still
if you're going to use it for leverage.
Yeah, but like if you're reading it, it's not bad at all. You can just kind of blow through the first couple parts before you get the stands and stuff. It's still enjoyable to read. But I could see it being rough to watch.
Go there and we'll see.
I watched through all of it. I watched through every single
episode. Was it a little rough?
Of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I enjoyed it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Well, especially because I think I was still actually watching 122 when I was like in high school.
Okay.
And I was very much less discerning about anime when I was in high school. But I genuinely enjoyed them, and especially like Jonathan. Jonathan is not a complicated character. He does not have any layers.
No.
His layer is one layer, and it is Jonathan Goodboy.
Oh, also,
I love Jonathan so much.
Axoff TTV, is that toilet in response to my gameplay or anime? Both are valid.
Finally.
No, it's not good for me.
Fair enough.
Another toilet. What does it mean?
We must decipher this.
The code.
Oh, we gotta figure out the code.
The code.
The code is toilet. Well, feel free to join in if you have anything to add to the conversation of the animus or mangoes.
That's a lot of cats.
This man speaks in hieroglyphics, and I respect that. Oh, have I died? Nope, I'm good. He's evolved beyond us, Ben.
He's speaking the language of the gods.
Dude, it's kind of wild that like that's the solution Egypt went with. Like it.
What is?
Hieroglyphics over like just characters for sounds. Like it. When you're at a time when like there wasn't really much before them, it makes like it doesn't seem as weird, but it seems so unintuitive to our modern minds. Like, why wouldn't you just have letters?
So my understanding is that basically the way it like.
Oh god!
Yeah.
They've gone to another layer.
No, so like the way language actually evolved in a grossly oversimplified way, it was basically that like written language started off basically as like manifests. So like, you know, keeping track of how much grain you have,
yeah,
how many cows you have, and so basically like you started off by basically just drawing pictures of things, and then you know like, but you don't want to draw a picture of a cow every time you do that. So eventually, like those pictures get more and more simple, more and more abstract.
Yeah.
And eventually, when you get more and more, like those start to evolve into pictographs that you know aren't necessarily pictures of things, but are just like
pictures that represent things.
Representations of concepts.
Is that the how like the like East Asian characters evolved, or are they their whole own thing?
I can't really say for sure. I don't know enough about that to
Fair
say
enough.
with confidence.
I gotta say, I do respect you just coming to this chat and refusing to speak words to us.
Right? It's just,
I love it.
The most cryptic shit in chat.
Here to see plastic?
4.
But yeah, so I mean, as far as I know, actually, the oldest recorded instance of Chinese characters is from something called the Oracle Bones, which, you know, as the name would suggest, they're bones with, you know, the fucking like 3,000-year-old Chinese characters.
Wow.
I don't even know if they've been deciphered or not. But yeah, basically, it's suspected, I think, that those were used in like ritual purposes.
Yeah, usually when you write shit on bones, you're doing something funny with it.
What's on it?
Yep.
Not just your standard affair. Not your grocery list on bones.
Yeah, I found it.
Not a question.
Language is weird. I feel like everything that humans do is weird. We're such weird animals. Like, sometimes I just think about how we are complete anomalies for the rest of life on the planet.
Not a question.
Even down to, like, simple stuff like walking is not really a thing that other animals do.
Anything I can do?
Monkeys kind of do it.
They kind of, but it's not like their standard locomotion, where it's like, that's what we do, period.
Monkeys kind of wave dash. Monkeys wave dash more than they walk.
Monkeys wave dash is quite a sentence.
Like, if you
I don't know how to deal with that.
That's kind of more similar than walking.
Oh, anyway. That's a war crime.
Monkeys can only schmoove.
Monkeys can only schmoove. You're right, Ben. Yeah, we just like we don't.
As well as a bird.
We just don't fit into the mold. Which is why we won. We won Earth.
Yeah, humans are kind of weird, fucked up nightmare creatures that do some really cool things.
And we really broke the meta. Thinking,
yeah,
man.
Like, yeah, genuinely, humans just fucking shattered the Earth meta because we have, you know, we have sweat for one, which allows us to have superhuman endurance compared to the other end.
Yep.
And
power walking,
we can
man.
throw things. Like, no other animal on Earth can throw things.
I mean, once again, you know, the apes can throw stuff, but the difference is, like, we can make a spear and throw it.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, you can throw something a lot farther than a monkey can. Monkey arms are not good for throwing.
And much more accurately.
And yeah, you can use that to make a projectile, and that basically fucking bodies, you know, like all of the top predators when humans were still sort of in their nation stages.
Yeah, I think actually the thing that like really always like is my like wow, the world's cool is whenever I throw something and like or like I'm throwing or catching something, it's like if you were to like do the physics problem for this, it's wildly complicated and we just do it naturally. Like no problem. Like I can throw a ball, you know, 30-40 yards and hit like a couple foot area without too much trouble.
You would need a team of like some of the greatest physicists and engineers ever ever live to basically to build a robot that can throw a ball in the same way that a human can.
Yeah.
Like it is an absurdly complicated motion that needs a lot of people and a lot of precision to work, and yet anyone can
Axel, bring on the toilets. We're going toilet mode right now.
Axel's saying some real shit, but our third eye's not ready for it.
That's true. They just like answered the meaning of life in this chat.
There's some hard shit going on in those.
I have to suck at video games.
I'm sorry, Hayden.
You ever just bad at video games?
It's a curse to be bad at video games, but I'll bear it with you.
Spend all day playing video games and I'm bad at them.
It hurts so bad. It's like I spent fucking 40% of my life in front of the screen playing video games.
Spent my whole life playing video games just to be trash. But slightly less trash over time. Where am I going?
Okay, yeah. The other thing that that gets me about humanity is sort of the very cruel ironies in our existence. Namely, that like humanity, you know, among our good points, also has a massive penchant for destruction.
Yeah.
Like you can see that as humans evolve over time, like species start to die out along with them, and you know they start changing their environments. And we are also, paradoxically enough, the only species with enough brain power to feel guilt about this, and yet we do not stop.
Yeah, it's like we both have enough brain power to have greed and guilt.
Yes.
Which are an odd combination.
Know that we are doing fucked up things, and also, but not enough to stop doing it.
Well,
it is a very cruel irony.
Some of us can.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Oh, you getting shot.
I'm getting shot a little bit. I think as a collective, we can like kind of pool our resources to do the right things. But as an individual, like, I mean, that's the thing is like, the only reason humanity exists is because of society. Like, one human, worthless. Like, just trash. But 20 humans, wildly
20
powerful.
humans are pretty strong. The 20 human meta was, you know, top of the line for a long time.
And I feel like it's both, you know, in being able to like pool resources to make stuff, and also kind of keep ourselves in check. Which is why, you know, things like CEOs getting billions of dollars is a problem, because then no one can check them. Humans need to be checked. I mean, that's like why, that's one of the theories about the like evolutionary benefit of embarrassment, is if you get embarrassed by things, then you won't do things to the detriment of the society. Which, you know, obviously hard to say exactly if that's true or not. You know, it's all theoretical shit, but
no, maybe.
Yeah. Ow.
Well, I remember these guys actually kind of holding me a couple of times. These guys.
I can't remember. Yeah, actually, it might be something, an ability that I get later, but you get to like flip over them at some point.
I think you have to like side dodge when they're...
I'm dead. I should read the tooltip. It's giving me a tutorial on how to beat them right now.
Gotcha.
But I just didn't want to perceive
combat
it.
shift to dodge attacks to outmaneuver.
Okay, so it's just don't be trash is the tooltip.
Yeah, right. You ain't got no business getting hit by that.
And you know what? It's right, I guess. I got no business.
You got no business getting smacked by those.
Ow. Don't bonk me.
Jesus Christ. The hitbox is on these batons, actually.
It's a little silly, but you know, I got no business getting hit by it. It's between me and God.
Exactly.
Down the switch.
Bad hitbox is a crutch for people who are bad at reading the code.
We'll just bully this man. And then what's he gonna do? Oh, he's gonna shoot me with a laser beam. Oh, he's got the moves. Oh, there's two of them. Run away! And then attack.
Psych!
Get the jukes.
Oh,
okay, you can't light attack them. Don't pacify me. Pacify you.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
And kicking the dick. Now that's the greatest failing of human evolution.
That was so brutal.
Like, man, we want to talk about how humanity evolved wrong. Male genitalia. What a weakness. Oh,
yeah.
My bad.
Personally, I would have preferred an exoskeleton. If I were going to submit some patch notes to God.
Oh yeah, if I was going to submit patch notes to God, why are we not crab? The true superior being on Earth. What beats a crab?
Tools?
Well, but
Could we be crabbed with hands?
Concept, Ben. Crab with tools.
Whoa.
Like, what's gonna beat that? Nothing.
Actually, now that I think about it, crabs with hands is the most cursed thing I think I've ever said in my life, so I will retract that statement.
Yeah. You know.
I'm out.
Imagine if we were crabs.
Imagine if we were crabs. I mean, you know, all life eventually evolves to crab.
Yeah, shit.
What's the term?
Give it another 100 million years, we'll be crabs.
What's the term for that?
Back to crab. The crab cycle?
Not the crab cycle. That's just that's internal crabification. But no, that's the actual scientific term for other like aquatic life turning into crabs.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Term for things evolving into crabs. I don't know if it's a soft or hard C, but carcinization or carcinization. That is.
We'd have to ask Eric.
Yeah, it's basically things want to be crabs. Everything wants to be a crab.
Yeah. So yeah, for anyone in in chat who doesn't know, evolutionarily there is a cycle of basically all aquatic life evolving in and out of crab phenotypes.
Like specifically, like all like aquatic arthropods eventually kind of become crabs because
like you can track their evolutionary history, and it's like you still call it crab. It's gonna turn into a crab for a bit, and then you give it another million years, and it's like, calm down being a crab.
It's because
being a crab is pretty cool.
I think it comes down to like crabs are kind of like an optimal form.
Yeah,
crabs
are
pop
pretty
to here
fucking
for just a
strong
minute.
in life.
All right, I'm gonna fiddle with settings a little bit because the game's being a little whack, and I'm also gonna go run to the bathroom.
Alright.
Okay. Get the game restarting here real quick, and then I'll run to the restroom. That's Axe was just telling me to take a bathroom break when he came in.
All right.
Yeah, clearly that's what Axel wanted from me.
Yeah.
All right, relaunch game. Hopefully, don't be too loud for chat. Okay, I'll be right back.
Wait.
All right, I'm back.
Yo. Okay. Unrelated topic.
Okay.
But okay, we were talking about Portal earlier.
Yeah.
How interested would you be in like maybe later streaming Portal 2 co-op? Because I just replayed Portal 2 and that game still fucks, unironically, and I've been looking for an excuse to play the co-op with someone.
Then I am always down to play Portal 2 co-op.
Hell yes.
Portal 2 co-op is awesome, and I've only like played through some of it before.
Yeah, right. I played through all of the co-op basically when it came out, so I don't really remember any of the puzzles, which is perfect.
Yeah, I 100% remember zero puzzles from co-op.
that is all fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
Oh yeah.
That's a...
So yeah, we could do that on or off stream at some point.
Yeah, like I feel like the biggest reason I would like love to become a big streamer,
yeah,
is just I could spend all my time streaming.
That is a powerful skill.
Yeah, because like there's so many games, like, you know, I got, you know, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Lasso, we want to do Portal, like all of these games I would love to play, but they all take time.
And that's the killer.
Yeah. I also, like, at some point I wanted to play some like old PS2 games that I used to love.
Ooh.
Do some emulator.
Would you use an emulator?
Yeah, I have an emulator installed, and I downloaded a couple games to just kind of be
ready. What are
ready.
those PS2 games?
The biggest one that I have like kind of ready to go that I'd want to play is Lord of the Rings: Two Towers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just, you know, just because it's a game that I played when I was like 10 and I have nostalgia.
Sure. I begged my parents my entire childhood for a PS2, and I never got one, and I was very bitter about it.
Sorry to bring up a sore topic.
They were rather anti-console game.
Really?
Yep.
But like we're okay with PC?
I feel like just because they didn't want me hogging on TV.
Ah, that's valid. That is an understandable reason to be anti-console.
Yep. Eventually, I got one basically by accident. I went to video game design camp when I was in middle school, and I won the final contest.
Hello?
Like, the most people voted for my game, and I won a PS1.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
So the way that worked, I asked, like, you know, they told me the prize. I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, so, like, I know we have this thing about console games, but if I win, can I keep this? And they were like, well, you know, we'll talk about that if you win. And I was like, all right, okay.
I'm dead.
And then I won, and I was like, all right, bet. And they were like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, we didn't actually think that you would win. We didn't think we'd get this far.
That's, you know, powerful move, powerful move.
I won in the end.
Love to see it, man.
Got to keep it. Played Metal Gear Solid 1, and they gave me a disc of Crash Bandicoot, which was broken. And I couldn't. It kept deleting my saves, and it gave me a disc of a NASCAR racing game, which was maybe the worst game I've ever played in my whole life.
Yeah, you know, NASCAR in real life is just turn left, so a video game of just turn left seems pretty not great.
Right. Nonetheless, a video game that was made in like 1999.
True.
Like,
true.
It was really fucking jank.
Yeah. Yeah, like I like playing games like that, especially like the other thing is like it'd be really fun to be at a level of like, you know, bigness in the stream that I could justify playing games that have like negative growth factor. Like realistically, no one wants to watch that.
Yep. I mean, I guess so. Like you could make maybe like a brand around just like playing little known games.
Yeah.
Bringing attention to them.
I mean, the ultimate dream.
You
I
have
feel
to
like
make that a thing.
Like the ultimate dream for any streamer is to be big enough and have a nice enough community that you can be a variety streamer.
Yes.
I got a pretty decent setup right now, though, where I'm doing the 2 days of Terraria, a variety day, and then another 1 day of another like long-running game.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
I've definitely thought about like trying to Twitch stream on a couple of occasions, but I feel like it wouldn't work just on the one hand that I don't really want to put in the time that would be required to, and also even if I did, my internet connection is so shoddy that I have no confidence that it would work.
I mean, you can get by without too much work. I mean, like, obviously there's the time of actually doing the stream.
Yeah.
But like,
I just like having free time too much.
That's fair.
I just really enjoy not having things scheduled.
Yeah, that's valid. I mean, like, and sometimes, like with Resident Evil, there was like, you know, I've only, you know, played it for a couple days because it's not too long of a game. But there were like a couple times where it's like, I kind of want to play, but I got stream coming up in a little bit. But I also really like doing the stream, so. Now, what would be great is if I could just have infinite time.
Now that's the kicker. I would love to have infinite time.
What am I doing? Am I supposed to come back here? Okay. Yeah. Always, and you know, like, now I'm changing up my schedule starting next week because I'm starting work again. And like, it'd be great if I just didn't have to, like, have money. If I could just be poor and that'd be okay. But you need money for things. And I want things. The eternal struggle. I think I've gone the wrong direction. I have. The struggle do be real.
Aye. That it do.
Although on the other hand, it is nice to like have the world be at a point where I can work. And that's not a problem. Because last year, not so much.
Last year was a little rough. Last year,
believe it or not,
had a bit of a time.
Weddings are not considered essential.
Yeah.
Wild
like
concept.
Those were maybe not in high demand.
Not in high. Well, they were in high demand, but not deemed important enough.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone had a great time at their Zoom weddings.
I mean, they just postponed. A lot of people do be getting married, though.
People do be getting married, I guess. Like, have you seen specifically an uptake in, like, you know, in weddings at your work?
Oh no, I mean, I would just say, like, the average amount that I see at work is a lot. I mean,
I guess everyone's just like, you know, the postponed weddings are collecting now.
Yeah.
We're having like a year's worth of postponed weddings that are just...
I mean, it's basically just I think most of the weddings that got canceled last year, they just shifted to this year and then didn't book new stuff, really. Yeah, like, peak season, it's not weird for us to have, like, maybe 4 weddings a day.
Wow.
For you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's a lot of weddings.
And, and then sometimes on Thursdays and Mondays occasionally, so.
When is peak wedding season?
Middle of summer.
That makes sense.
At least for our venues, since we're an outside venue.
Yeah, right. I guess, like, if people say they want to choose wedding.
And our venue is, like, kind of a budget venue. Which is to say it's, like, only, like, 10K for a wedding.
Man, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts.
People spend too much money on weddings.
So I hear.
Yeah, because we do... At a time, we'll do 2 weddings, like, concurrently in different venues in the park. And then when we're really busy... go ahead, Ben.
If I were ever to get married,
yeah,
how much violence could I potentially use to lower the price? How many people do you think that I could forcibly, like, to just make the price lower because there's no actual reason those things are expensive other than that they can post them to their store.
What you do to make it cheaper is don't get anything that is for weddings. Like a wedding venue versus just a venue, you're gonna have a huge markup. You know? Going to get a cake, don't get a wedding cake, get a cake.
Don't get a wedding cake, get a normal cake.
You can probably go to the same bakery and just be like
the same cake.
And just be like, I just want a cake.
I want a cake for no particular reason.
But if they know it's for a wedding, they know you'll pay.
Shit.
That's kind of what I've
like
seen.
Cake with a man and a woman standing on top, both wearing fancy clothing. There is no particular reason for this, and if you want to slay you, have your time.
Yeah.
That is the end of it.
Also, people invite too many people to weddings.
Yeah, right. Well, so, I mean, also, I feel like there's a lot of, like, politics that goes on with wedding invitations.
Yeah, no, there is, for sure.
Wedding invitations are hard.
But, like, at, like, a venue our size, I feel like the weddings that are, like, you know, 50 to 100, which is still, like, a lot of people. But it's a pretty, you know, they're decently big venues and stuff. So, like, that number of people, you know, like 70 people, it stays very lively, but everyone can kind of, like, be a part of everything that's going on. And it just kind of stays funner. And also when people do, like, less formal stuff. I feel like when it's all about just, like, the show of it, it gets kind of weird and, like, rigid.
So, is it like some weddings are too formal, you think?
Yeah, and too much like just like, all right, we gotta do this traditional thing, then this traditional thing, and then just move through a schedule, as opposed to like the people who are just basically like,
that's it.
Show up, have a 10-minute ceremony, and then just kind of vibe.
Yeah, I dig that. Like, yeah, a wedding is definitely going to be more fun if you're basically just there to, like, you know, talk for a little bit and then have a party, as opposed to if you're there to, you know, like, enact a ritual.
Yeah, like when it's small and you can tell it's just like their close family and friends. They don't care about
summon Wedis, the wedding god.
Yeah, they don't care about doing any of like particular things. Like they'll do like a first dance, but that's kind of it as far as like traditional stuff. And it's just a party. Like those are the weddings I've been to where they had the most fun. And are also probably the cheapest. Oh, dude, weddings are weird.
Big explosion over here.
Ah, my ears.
Goodness.
Goodness me.
Oh my. Oh my stars and garters.
I also gotta say, people should really kind of take it easy on the drinking.
Yeah, I believe that.
I've seen some people in some conditions.
In some states, you could say.
I mean, there was one particular time where there was a guy who, at the end of the night, literally did not know where he was.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That at a wedding? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've also seen, like, you know, brides and grooms who are, like, fall down drunk. It's like, why? You didn't enjoy yourself then. Why would you do that?
I mean, like, you know, it's fine to get drunk at a wedding, but you want to at least remember the wedding, especially if it's fucking yours.
Yeah. I've also seen, not too much drama, but I've definitely seen some drama.
Oh, that's pretty spicy. What kind of drama have you seen?
Like, nothing too crazy. There was one time where, so do you know roughly where I work? It's like, do you know where Hakone Gardens is? By downtown Saratoga?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just like not even 10 minutes up Highway 9 from there.
Okay. We had one time where there was some
thing about like people talking behind someone's back about someone, and like one of the groomsmen was so like pissed at the bride, I think, that he actually started walking down Highway 9. And one of the coordinators had to get in the golf cart and go grab him and be like, bruh.
So he was just ready to dip? He was just gonna walk down the highway?
He had dipped. He had to be retrieved.
Oh my god.
Also had one where
I'm done with the decryption.
everything seemed fine. Learned that like a week afterwards they broke up. Didn't even file the paperwork because apparently one of the people was already wanting to end the relationship and pulled a, well, maybe a wedding will fix it all.
Oh no.
Yeah.
At all.
It contains the
Yeah.
Doesn't fix anything.
At least they didn't have a kid. It could have been worse.
Yeah, that's about as bad as you could get.
Can I keep the
Yeah, no, those are kind of the only like big drama things. Just other things like, people getting drunk and weird, and people like passing out on the dance floor and stuff, and having to have ambulance come.
Peel them off.
Yeah, we've had EMS show up to the work a fair bit.
Huh.
I mean, it's a lot of people drinking and dancing, so.
Yeah, I guess that, that's
gonna happen.
That'll do it.
Oh, my next mission is here. I'm a clown.
I'm bored. I moved around the Sky City enclosed environmental
Oh yeah,
protocols for
I'm
a
sure I got
while.
lost in there. This as well. I could not find her.
Yeah, it's a fun job though.
Access the metagrid. What? The metagrid. It's part of the grid, but only accessible by corporate families. Consists of information and
That is good to
communication
hear.
too sensitive to risk
Yeah.
propagation on the regular grid.
How do we access it?
I've mapped out geolocational weaknesses in the metagrid.
And
if you could tap into
it's that specific place, like working weddings, like working events is kind of fun, but that specific place, just all my boss and stuff are real good.
What's up, Lucky?
The protocols will race to shut you out.
Hi, Katie. How you doing?
All the points before that happens.
Ah,
Okay.
That is my sister.
that is your sister.
She can attest to some of the wackiness that goes on there because she also worked there. I got that job through some nepotism.
Sick.
Both of my sisters have worked there, so my like interview was basically like, you want to work here? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, all right.
Well, that's efficient.
I think I'm one of their favorite employees though, so it worked out for them. The nepotism worked this time.
Nepotism does it again, baby.
Yeah, boy!
Let's go.
Oh, I guess does that... It doesn't really count as nepotism unless it's the person doing the hiring that's related, right? 'Cause otherwise it's just
I am not qualified to say.
I mean, otherwise it's just a recommendation.
I guess.
Like if the person... Aren't all jobs that easy? It'd be like that.
I don't make all jobs that easy.
Yeah, it feels bad. So there's a mechanic in this game where when you go to like a waist high object, if you hold spacebar, you do a volt off of it. If you like you do like a springboard like that, if you tap spacebar, you just kind of vault over it, and
you die, it seems.
yeah. That's still nepotism? I feel like for it to be nepotism, the person, like the related person, needs to be in a position of power. As opposed to just, hey, I have a sibling who wants to work here, you should take a look at him. Because then the person doing the hiring can still just be like, nah, fuck that. But, what do I know? No. Hard
Apparently
no.
not. Apparently nothing.
Well, you know. Who's gonna ask questions anyway? Yeah, this is like one of those games that just makes you feel cool when you're playing it well.
Oh, definitely. And any game that's based on speed,
Yeah.
reaction.
I still. Oh, fair enough, Katie. I think still the ultimate like make you feel like a badass game for me. No, actually two of them is number one, Super Hot VR.
That's fair.
Like you
I want to play that actually.
You just seem so cool. And then another VR game, Beat Saber. Like if you're really good, if you can get really good at a song Beat Saber. But the funny thing about those ones is like you cannot have someone watch you, because that is as far from seeming cool as you could possibly get.
As long as they can see the screen, it looks pretty okay. But if they can't and they're just like looking at you,
oh no, I think they need to see they need to see the screen only.
Yes.
If your body can be perceived, uh-oh.
Right, you're in trouble. Okay, so actually, again, I think I've mentioned this before, but one of my top make you look like a badass games is One Finger Death Punch. Because, I mean, it's so simple. You press left attack and you press right attack.
Yeah.
And then you just do this to about 1 billion enemies, but it looks great.
Yeah. So is it basically like a fighting rhythm game?
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
Like, if you just look up some gameplay footage, I'm like basically getting exactly how it plays like immediately.
Yeah, I should check that out. Also, yes, Kate, this is the Mirror's Edge reboot. And you know, original Mirror's Edge, one of the few games that I got you to play. Although my other sister she's being converted to a gamer.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah, she.
What games?
Well, so for a while she's played Dead by Daylight.
All right.
Like she's actually been playing that for like a year or two, but recently, we are together gonna play through all the Halos. We're like 4 missions into CE right now. And then also she's playing through Mass Effect. She just finished Mass Effect 1 and is starting Mass Effect 2.
Sweet.
She's a gamer now.
Gamer confirmed.
Contact me when you come to your senses. That is if it happens before.
Everyone should be gamer.
When I become Jewish dictator of America, I will make gaming mandatory.
Okay,
You've got to
good.
be a gamer.
Good.
Talking about Elysium, whatever it was you stole from there.
I don't know how to segue away from that.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I see we've bantered ourselves into a corner. How can we take out of this?
Well, see, like for you, it's not a corner. For me, it's a little more of a corner.
It was always a breed apart. You think you can change
fair.
it by blowing it up?
Like you have free reign on this topic.
On this dead drive. Blueprint on it.
All right.
Why not give it to her?
Because in her own way, she's
I'm gonna make video game history classes in school. There we go.
Okay.
Like you have art history, you have literary history. Boom. Now you have video game history,
Nice.
and you have to take it, or else you die.
This is the Pixel.
I do take sides.
Consider the humble pixel.
See ya.
Faith.
What?
Then you put the pixels together.
Never mind. I'll see you soon.
All right, baby. Let's talk about bits. Some games got 4 of them. Some of them got 8. Then you got 16. No, that's 32. But sometimes you got 64. And then after 64, you just get a fuck ass ton of bits. And after that, it's all crazy.
Yeah.
It's pure insanity beyond that.
What's the thing in between? Or no, it's like there's a bit, and then 4 bits is a byte, and I think it's 4 bytes is a nibble.
Really?
I can't remember exactly what like the conversion is, but there is a like a unit of storage that's a nibble, and that's amazing.
That's pretty fun.
I wasn't supposed to go this way. I learned that in one of my computer science classes before I decided I'm gonna hit shit with a hammer instead.
Nice.
I'm gonna go the other way and return to monkey.
Yes, okay, so yeah, you're right. In computing, a nibble is a 4-bit aggregation.
4-bit, oh, and then I think it's...
Or a
a
half octet.
How much is a byte? Is a byte 8? 8 bits?
Byte.
It's something.
A byte is a unit of digital information that most commonly consists of 8 bits.
Yeah, look at me, kind of remembering
hey,
shit.
big brain computer man. Computer man.
I kind of wish that, like, as like an elective, like a gen ed elective, I could take like a class on fun facts. Because like I love just learning like little tidbits of knowledge from all over like any field. Like specifically I like you know like physics stuff and you know sciencey things, but
I mean like that's basically just a you know how to win at Jeopardy the class.
Yeah. I feel like there's also, you know, some amount of value to that of just like general knowledge. Did I go the wrong way? I went the wrongest way imaginable, but it's fine. We'll make it work. I'll find my way eventually.
You know, the more I think about it, the more I actually kind of become less opposed to like the idea of like of like a gaming history class. Because like I genuinely from the bottom of my heart believe that video games should be classified as art.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly,
like,
I feel like at this point, for the majority of people,
games are art, and I feel like they could be, they could basically be, studied and appreciated in the same way that art, music, movies are.
Yeah. I mean, like definitely, if you're gonna put things like movies in there, then
people take film classes. People take film appreciation classes.
No, 100%.
Take music classes, take art classes.
God, dude, speaking of film appreciation classes, the worst class I've ever taken was a film appreciation class. Not necessarily because of it being film appreciation. The professor and his choices in movies were fucking garbage.
Oh, all right. How bad were they?
I don't remember the titles of most of them because I blocked it from my mind. They were just so bad. Like,
I'm sorry, I should have come sooner.
Also, when did you take this?
It's not like you.
In college.
Look, about
that. Okay.
It was like 3 years ago. It's just they were all like. I feel like he specifically was like, let me pick the least mainstream movie I could possibly imagine to get across this concept.
It's the imperfections.
And like, let me pick like the least enjoyable aspects of filmmaking and pick that as the topic we're gonna watch a movie for.
You still have it. I thought
I'd get rid of it.
And it's just, ugh.
I almost did.
Also, like, his takes were bad.
You made me very angry, Faith. One could almost say.
So like, what kind of takes are we talking?
The extent to which you've
just being very pompous and like the kind of person who like look down on you for liking a blockbuster movie.
Sure. I think David Pine, one of my friends from college, he had a film. So okay, I think he actually almost majored.
And we will discuss your
death. He was really into storytelling. He wrote some like film scripts. He had one film teacher who basically just thought that all movies that came out in the modern era were garbage, and the only one worth watching was Children of Men.
Human touch.
Oh, you know what? Hey, that's one that my film professor was very big on.
Go to the Anansi Emporium.
Which I will say, that movie is not like bad by any means.
I've never seen it. I'm sure it's good.
It was alright.
It feels like the movie of choice for douchebag film production.
Yeah, no, like it's got some cool stuff. It's got some decent action. You've probably heard about like the sequence that all the film professors talk about, where it's like it's a one-shot sequence. It's really cool sequence stuff. A big part for me was I thought that it was like my biggest problem with it was very much that story of like everything's bad things happen to these people who are bad, and nothing gets better ever, which is just not a genre that I enjoy by any means.
It's the Nightcrawler genre, where it's just like, well, shit's fucked and everyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
that's the movie.
Like my literary connection to that is like Grapes of Wrath. It's like just everything's shit and you're just watching people go through bad stuff, like to the extent of
Grapes of Wrath.
Like things just shouldn't even be this bad. I don't want to. That one I can respect a little bit just because like it's connected to that time and like holds a value for that.
I think it's a little bit of a pass because it's also political. It's about it's not just about shit's fucked. It's about why is shit fucked and how does shit being fucked affect people.
Which is fair,
like but, because it also is something that happened in real history. Whereas something like Nightcrawler or something like Children of Men is just like shit's fucked and everything is bad.
I mean, I think that they're probably to an extent like, oh, Grapes of Wrath was good. Let's kind of do that. I wouldn't be surprised if that has an element to it. But also, like Grapes of Wrath, like it's not the Depression right now. It's 100 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to read about it. I don't want to read a story about it. I'd rather, if I gotta learn about it, I'll just read a textbook at this point. It's not entertaining to me. And I very much, just my personal take on a lot of like media and stuff, is I value just the entertainment value of it pretty highly. Like, if there's a movie or book or something that isn't just enjoyable for me to watch, it's harder for me to like. That's why I tend to like things that like have a happy ending, even if it doesn't fully make sense. If it doesn't really have a happy ending, I'm like, but kind of like why? I'm kind of wasting my time here. If I want to see sad shit, I can just look at the world.
I kind of like bittersweet endings. I think, I don't necessarily prefer them to happy ending, but I like a bittersweet ending because it makes it feel like, like the story meant something and that the actions had consequences, but but it was all worth it for something.
I can agree with that. Like, I have a great example of something that I love that has a bittersweet ending, The Promised Neverland. Like, it's not by any means a happy ending, but it is also by no means a sad ending. Like, it is a bittersweet ending. Like, it doesn't like movies like Children of Men and stuff. Like, it's just like a depressing ending.
Right, just kick you in the dick ending.
It's just like what, like to the extent where it doesn't hold any weight. It's just like, well, yeah, things are bad.
What's the point of all that?
I guess things are bad. Things will stay bad, and blah blah blah. But then even if it's like there's a bitter sweetness to it, like it still has that sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm right about that either. That's just personally, if I'm gonna watch or read something, I want something. I want at least a little bit of happiness at the end.
Yeah, I respect that. What? Oh my god, you are dying.
I'm fine.
You are fumbling, my man.
Nah, I'm good. I was a little lost for a bit, but we good now. I'm back on track. Also, Ben, are you keeping up with Dr. Stone?
No, I haven't been up to touch on Dr.
Okay.
Stone for a while. I think I started reading it before either you or Eric did. It's just that I stopped reading basically right before they arrived in America, and then I didn't really keep up.
Well, that arc has just ended, and it had a really good resolution.
I'm getting them out.
Cool.
The fire alarm.
I think it's a good time to get back into it if you're wanting to.
I've got that, and I've got Promised Neverland. Sort of like I've got my eyes on them.
Ooh,
manga-wise.
Fuck Dr. Stone. Read Promised Neverland. I loved Promised Neverland. it is the best thing I've ever read. My favorite thing I've ever read. I can't say that it will be that for you, but I absolutely adored it. I thought that the story and characters were just amazing. Which I don't want to do the classic thing of overhyping it. So I won't say anything else, but I think it's very much worth the read.
I have heard a lot of people say that Promised Neverland is rather good.
Yeah. Even if you don't like adore it like I did, you'll like it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Going back to like the start of this whole streams conversation, it is objectively good, I'd say. Like on a technical level, it's very good.
Yeah, so actually, when I was on the plane coming back, or I think going to Boston, I read like the first chapter, and then I started watching Chopped on the TV, and I got distracted. But I'm hoping to keep going.
Oh, dude, speaking of manga, there's one that I read, a new one that I read, the first chapter on the Shonen app, and I really enjoyed it. I want to see if you have checked out yet. Look at the name, Chojin X.
Chojin X. That is the one that is by the same author of Tokyo Ghoul. I have not read it.
It only has the one chapter out, and it doesn't have like a date for when the next one comes out. So I'm worried that it's just like not gonna take off. But it seems like a really cool concept.
All right, wait. So give me like an old rundown. What's going on with Chojin X?
I mean, it's one chapter, so they're not. They spent more time setting up the characters than the world, but it's basically like kind of like not really post-apocalyptic, but like dystopian world where like there's almost like it seems like a social class of people that like have like monster powers. And our main characters are basically like a high school student who is like a vigilante, and his friend who like saved once and is kind of tagging along to try and like help to repay getting saved.
Justice assistant.
And not to spoil it too much, I mean it's the first chapter, it's not like it's a real spoiler, but at the end of it, at the end of the first chapter, to fight one of these guys who's like the vigilante guy beat up, and to get revenge he took like a serum that gives him a power, and so they need to take the serums to fight him, and that's where the first chapter ends. It just seems like a really neat world that is getting set up. Characters seem kind of cool, and I can see it having really cool action.
You probably will. I'm not a huge fan of Tokyo Ghoul, so yeah.
I never watched Tokyo Ghoul. That's one of the ones that I've definitely I've heard about. I've heard the name a billion times and like seen, clips and panels out of it, but haven't checked out at all either. Like I really don't actually know like anything about Tokyo Ghoul. Also, I'd back that up.
It's basically just really edgy.
Oh, okay.
It's very much like bad things happen for no particular reason, and there's no real resolution to them.
I could see this one running into that problem. I wouldn't be surprised if it had that issue.
Give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't know.
No, it seems like from the first chapter, it seems a little bit more hopeful. Both the characters seem like it's a shithole world, but they both have a kind of good outlook about it. Yeah, I hope it gets more chapters because I at least want to see where it goes.
And also, for context, if my memory serves, Chojin in Japanese means superhuman. So
there you go.
What the name is.
That would make sense.
Yep. Now you know.
Oh, Ben, I meant to ask you this like some other time we were talking, but forgot. Do you have any particular like words in Japanese where you're cursed with the knowledge of how they're supposed to be pronounced versus how they're pronounced by Westerners?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. There's two. The first one is what you Americans call kamikaze. In Japanese, it's pronounced kamikaze, and I don't know how the fuck we got to kamikaze.
Okay.
I guess it's just like, 40s American good at pronouncing other languages.
Yeah.
The other one is actually, it's something that comes up a lot in Forged in Fire. It is a type of billet weld called sanmai, and they all pronounce it sanmai.
Oh god,
and it
that's
drives
rough.
me insane. Why are you calling it sanmai? It's not sand, it's sanmai. You can just make the A a little lower. It's so easy. It's san, not sand.
Yeah, like
I'm begging you.
The one for me, I learned a little bit of Korean, dabbled.
Was it for K-pop reasons?
All right, calm down. But like the big one for me, and the reason that it bothers that this is like a word that kind of like gets to me a little bit is similar to those ones.
Sorry.
There's no reason that either of those words like are hard to say in English. Like those are all sounds that we make normally in English. So there's no reason to say it wrong. And for me, it's taekwondo instead of taekwondo.
Oh,
like,
yeah, shit, you're right.
Like, that's perfectly easy to say.
Yeah, wow, I never even thought about that. But yeah, you're right. The Korean the T-A-E is pronounced Tay.
And the weirdest part, in English, if you have something written T-A-E, you say Tay.
Well, yeah, but
like, it's not a common thing.
It can also be pronounced Tai.
Yeah, but not, I feel like less so. You know, like in Magic, you got like Aether Flux Reservoir. You don't say Aether Flux Reservoir. Like,
yes, I guess.
And even if you can pronounce it either way, like it is Taekwondo, and that is perfectly easy to say.
I never thought about that.
Why do we just say it wrong?
Taekwondo.
Because like there's plenty of things like. I was talking this about this with my mom the other day, and I had the example of like, for French, you got croissant is croissant.
Right.
But that's much more like a mouthful for an English speaker.
Yeah, like it's easier just to say.
Like there are plenty of things where it's like
croissant.
you're just
you
gonna
say croissant in English, you sound like you're pretending to be French.
It's hard to say. It's like unnatural to say, and you're just gonna look dumb saying it right. And I'm sure a French person would honestly just rather you say croissant. But then when there's words where it's just like, it's easy to say the right way. We just don't because we don't.
Okay, actually, same vein. Another Japanese word?
Yeah.
Karate. Karate in Japanese is pronounced basically the same way that SpongeBob SquarePants pronounces it.
Yeah.
Karate.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's A instead of E. It's
karate.
Like saying A for the N instead of E. Like it's
yeah, right. Trying to explain English vowel sounds to Japanese children is a fucking nightmare. Because it's like, see, the English ah is just like Japanese ah, and the E is pronounced just like Japanese A. And then it's like, oh, so you see this in a word? Does that mean it's pronounced like that? And it's like, no, not at all. They're completely different.
Yeah, it's a little hard. Yeah,
right? Like you take the word fun, F-U-N. Oh, okay. So that would be right? And no, it's F-U-N. Is that pronounced fun? No, it's fun. If you write it in katakana, fun. But don't worry about it.
Yeah. I feel like English is a simple language with wild amounts of exceptions. I'll say that
English has some systems that I like, and some things that I think are needed.
Yeah, from the little bit that I've learned, the little bit of studying I did, on Korean, it's quite intuitive, I think. Like, it's pretty damn simple. Like, I didn't get too deep into the grammar or anything, but from just like a how do you say the word, you can kind of spend a week learning it, and you could pretty much read any word and pronounce it right.
Yeah, so I mean, I learned how to read Hangul when I was in college, basically just because I felt like it.
Yeah.
And I can still read it to this day, very slowly, albeit.
Yeah.
I can't still read Hangul. And so actually, my understanding is that Korean grammar is very similar to Japanese grammar. It's kind of like speaking Chinese with Japanese grammar almost. Which is an overweight, simplified way to say
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of cases, it kind of feels like that. And Japanese grammar, I do think, is very intuitive. You know, like, it's just that with any language, there's just a lot of exceptions.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I'd say there's less like grammar exceptions in English. There's just a lot of terms of phrase, basically, that you need to learn about.
Yeah. Now, I am looking for, like, I was doing Korean on Duolingo. And, like, the thing is, I was kind of plateaued a little bit, because I'm personally just am pretty bad at language. Like, I've tried a few times for, like, you know, French or Spanish or whatever, and I just really struggle with it. So I kind of had plateaued on the Duolingo a little bit. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna find a class to take, and I was gonna take a class at school. Unfortunately, the college I do doesn't have a Korean course, but Deanza does, so I was gonna go, oh cool, I'll just take Deanza class. I made that decision and kind of like stopped doing the Duolingo around then. And like a couple weeks later, lockdown happened, and classes got canceled. So I'm very much looking forward to, in the fall, finally being able to go and take that class.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Yeah. Because like, I was having a lot of fun learning Korean, and yes, I do listen to K-pop exclusively, and it's fun to get, even like the little bit I learned, it's fun to pick out words.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, you know, one of the things that always made learning Japanese, you know, the most satisfying to me is just when you can see something in real life and you're like, hey, I know what that means.
I know that. Like,
this has all been worth it.
Like, I only know a handful of words, but when it shows up in a song, I'm like, ah, I know what they said.
Hey.
K-pop is definitely like such a guilty pleasure. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just the community is so bad. So, you know, like Rick and Morty. It's a fine show. But man, I don't want to tell anyone I like Rick and Morty. I'm not going to tell someone I watch it. Good lord.
It comes with weight.
Yeah. I do also have a few Japanese songs.
But I have to find a way around.
Mostly because
like any Japanese artists or bands that you listen to.
It's the Japanese songs I have are Korean artists who have Japanese, because it's actually kind of more common than I would have thought. That there's a lot of K-pop groups either do songs just in Japanese or release Japanese versions of songs.
Yeah, actually, there was one time where I was trying to figure out what all the fuss was about with BTS, and so I was just like, okay, I'll listen to a couple of their songs. So I just picked one out and I was listening to it and I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Korean sounds way more similar to Japanese than I thought. Wait a fucking second.
Yeah, I will say, I exclusively listen to K-pop. I have not heard a single BTS song.
Okay.
Because I've always just listened to female artists. I just really don't enjoy male singing voice.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I don't know. So I admit this is just my personal taste. I tried to listen to some BTS songs, and it was like the most hopelessly boring music I've ever heard in my life. It's just like the most like generic, like super lame, cheesy love song that you could ever conceive.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, listen, it's
I'm
pop
glad
music.
that only 2 people are watching the stream because I would get fucking mobbed in the street if I said that on every public platform.
I mean, like, it's pop music. It's gonna be kind of playing to some point, but that's why, like for me, I don't like really enjoy a male singing voice, so I would not listen to male pop singers because then it's only the content of the song that's valuable. Like, especially not speaking Korean, for me listening to K-pop, it's almost like just an instrumental song. Like, it's kind of the weird thing of not being able to understand lyrics.
BTS is a Korean boy band that is absurdly popular.
BTS is like the K-pop band that people who don't listen to K-pop know. They're the Minecraft of K-pop.
Minecraft of K-pop.
They break out of the community into the world at large.
Yes. They've escaped the confines.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the like girl group equivalent, or like, yeah, equivalent of BTS is Blackpink, who I do listen to. I think they're the girl group band that like kind of has a little more reach outside of K-pop.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, I don't have actually a lot of like strong, you know, despite the fact that I've played piano for almost 10 years now, like I don't have super strong opinions about music or like, really, thoughts on what makes music good or bad. I just kind of like some things and don't like other things. Usually what I find makes me like music is if the drum goes real fast.
What was that?
It's sort of like the through line I've noticed through all my music tastes.
Yeah.
Is if it just goes really fast, then I generally enjoy it.
I actually have like, I feel like I have a kind of like, not really any particular element of any of the songs that like is the draw for me. Like I kind of jump through genres a little bit, like within K-pop. Like I'll listen to K-rap, the like really bubbly pop. I have some artists that are much more like rock focused, and like some that are like almost have some heavy metal stuff in them.
Yeah, I lean a lot harder towards rock and metal.
Well, hey, if you ever want to try out some K-pop, I could recommend something to you.
Alright, please do.
Oh, yeah? Shit, man, you've opened up a can of worms.
Oh, fuck, wait, no, what have I done? Put it back.
No, I actually, like, recently, though, the new songs I've been adding to, like, my playlist have been leaning more towards kind of, like, I wouldn't even necessarily call them pop. They're more just, like, kind of, like, weird. For, like, lack of a better term, like, they don't have, like, a super consistent, like, beat or anything, and, like, the pacing is kind of weird, but, I don't know, it's just a little something about them I enjoy. Like, one artist in particular, who also has, like, he has so much K-pop. I do.
So much K-pop.
I think that my playlist right now is about 40 hours.
That's a lot of K-pop.
Yeah, it's like 600. It's like 650 songs or something like that.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
But yeah, like the artist I've started listening to recently, best name ever, Cacophony. And I feel like that is an apt description of like kind of like the sound that it is. It's kind of a cacophony of sound.
Yeah, so I have a J-rock playlist that's about 10 hours of music, so you got me beat by a factor of 4.
No, to be fair, that's all of my music.
Oh, okay.
But I do kind of like pride myself on the fact that I have, 40 hours of it, and there's really no songs that I don't still like really enjoy to listen to. I feel like it's really easy to get a huge playlist or a huge library of songs, but you only like really want to listen to like 40 of them, 100 of them.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to all of them.
But when I play this, I'm pretty much like any song that comes up on there, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about that.
All right, Hayden, time for the drops.
Yeah.
Give me the top, like Korean rock, Korean metal.
Ooh, okay. A new band that I think only has like one song right now. But Rolling Quartz, they have a couple pretty rocky ones. Dreamcatcher is probably the biggest one that has like a lot of more rock focus with some like, you know, heavy metal riffs type of stuff. They're probably the best one I could recommend for rock.
Cool.
They've also got some slower, some like more poppy stuff, but they've got a fair bit of pretty rock focused stuff.
It's my favorite thing when like when you knock someone over. Oh, like that guy just did. Like I love it when you jump off like a 15-foot building and kick someone in the face.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a thing of beauty.
It's the most effective way to take someone down.
Yeah, they call it a missile drop.
Ben, please play-by-play with all of the wrestling terminology.
You got it.
I remember in the original Mirror's Edge, there was an achievement called "It's a Me," which was to do a wall run kick off of someone because you did like a Goomba stomp basically.
Oh, huh.
And since the combat was really bad, it was much harder to do in Mirror's Edge 1. Whereas in this, it's, you know, the combat's actually good, so you can do stuff like that pretty easily. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. Oh god, he's bullying me.
Fucking folded you. Oh, what the fuck was that? Oh, he's teleporting. He's schmoving on you.
He's schmoving like you wouldn't believe. Hickey.
So crazy.
I can't get normal attacks on, like light attacks on him. He's too good.
Yeah.
His defense is impeccable.
You gotta be doing the crazy stuff.
Gotti.
Oh, be gone. Thought.
Got a cool little animation.
Yeah. You get like that little Skyrim kill screen.
Yeah. No, for sure.
What did you do? They had to shoot. They wouldn't submit, especially the old guy.
Run, I'll meet you later.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of media I enjoy is very much like I don't want to tell people about it because I'm going to be judged for it. Between anime and K-pop, there's a lot that is hard to explain.
No, I feel like to some degree it's like I can kind of be open about the things that I like, and if you're gonna judge me for it, that's your problem.
I mean, yeah, I like realistically, but there's a moment's hesitation, like, and there's some like man, like Beastars.
Beastars is hard to explain.
It's hard to explain.
If someone told me like, "Hey, I like Beastars," I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, without a second thought."
Yeah, it makes sense. It's amazing.
Yeah, right. You know, Beastars is awesome. But if you just showed someone a picture of Beastars and be like, "This is the greatest manga."
This is an incredible story with a really cute romance and cool action. Don't worry about the fact that he's a wolf. Yeah.
There
see?
it is. There it is.
See?
There it is. Katie, your bigotry is showing.
Yeah. Tell her, Ben. Oh man, we're already at 2.5 hours. I should probably call it here.
Yeah, I guess so. Damn, my throat is fucking destroyed right now. This is hard.
It's fun though, man.
It is.
Fun. Alright. Let me go ahead and hop over to the just chatting screen. Alright. I don't think really anyone's been watching that much, but you know, if anyone watches the VOD and enjoyed it, come check out streams live. I'll go ahead and toss in here. I think I set up my new schedule for my Twitch chat. Yep, there we go. That's the new schedule. So if you check out the VOD, you can go peek that. Also, it's I don't think it's updated yet, but I'll have my schedule on my Twitch panels or Twitch page. Yeah, you know, if you want to come talk about anime and K-pop and have hot takes, we're always welcome. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys later.
Takes your blazing. Later, lads.